So here we are. It's Bank Holiday Monday. It's just gone 9 o'clock. It's 4 minutes past 9. Massive shout out to everybody who is watching me live. Huge shout out to everybody who is listening on the replay. Maybe you got my little broadcast email a bit late. You didn't get a chance to click the link in time to join us live. You're listening on the replay. You're watching on the replay. You're listening on iTunes, on Spotify, everywhere I put the audio from these live broadcasts. Massive shout out. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. So it's Bank Holiday. For a start, check this out before we get stuck in. Guess where Ross has been over the last couple of days? It's not the Eiffel Tower, unfortunately. I'm showing a statue of the Blackpool Tower. Very classy. Oh, it's not really in view, is it? If I move the microphone up, leave that in the background all evening. Yeah, my nephew's 14. He's absolutely mad on roller coasters. My mum, his grandma, was like, right, let's go to Blackpool one day, get on all the roller coasters on the pleasure beach. She thought it was a good idea. This is my mum who can't see, by the way, right? I took a blind woman on some of the roughest roller coasters that Blackpool has to offer. She hated every second of the ride, but was very happy to actually accomplish getting on them and doing it. I think she got a big thrill out of going, right, I feel like I broke my ribs on that one, but I accomplished it. So I spent most of my time telling her what was coming up. So obviously she can't see. So I'm like, right, we're going to go down. No! Like screaming. It's mental. She's 67, but she smashed it. I was very proud of her. So yeah, let me know what you've been doing for Bank Holiday as well. I just think it's quite interesting what people have been up to. And obviously the weather's been absolutely incredible. Tonight's broadcast, what it's about, guys, is it's a complete open forum tonight. I want feedback. I'm desperate for feedback from you lot and everyone in the Acts on This community. Maybe you're joining this live broadcast for the first time tonight and you've just joined the email list this week. Maybe you've got that Twitter thing I've been putting out on Facebook, the 33 casting directors you should be following on Twitter, and you don't really know what I do. I run a website for actors, actsonthis.tv. I set it up in 2011, and basically it was to give people the education that I hadn't got at drama school. So I believe drama school is a great way to learn how to act and learn your craft. But for me, in my experience, I learned, honestly, I'd say this to every tutor at the Manchester Metropolitan School of Theatre where I trained. It was one of the best drama schools in the country. They didn't prepare us at all, and they know that. Didn't prepare us at all for the business of the business. In terms of how you actually land work when you get out of the drama school and you're like thrown into the real world, and then you realise, well, wait a minute, I might as well not gone to drama school because I might I could act before I went in. Yeah, I'm a bit better now, but it doesn't really matter. I'm a bit better because I have no clue how to actually utilise and use these skills to get work and pay my rent or pay my mortgage or whatever. So I set up Acts on This in 2011, where I thought, you know what, if I can just bring people on who've already had the success that I want, or I can bring casting directors into the studio, record podcasts with them, video interviews, I can record these things with producers, actors, writers, directors, everyone in the industry, and just ask them really frank questions about ultimately how we as actors can have more and more success. I'm going to get the answers that actually really matter, that aren't just theoretical, that aren't things that, in this little bubble you're told at drama school what's going to happen when you get out, and it's not like that at all. These are real working people, and ultimately people who can employ us and give us real advice. So that's what I do. There's hundreds of hours worth of interviews on actsonthis.tv. It's 10 quid a month to get access to all of it. A lot of that money goes towards some really great charities that the guests get to then donate charity donations to when they come on and do a broadcast or a podcast. But I can't produce, or there's no point in me producing content that I think you want. So every now and again, I'll do a live broadcast like tonight where I'm just asking you guys where you're at in your career. And I want to know, and this is really hard, because if someone asks me this at times, I'm sometimes a bit stuck to actually explain where I'm stuck. What's like the biggest pain point you're feeling in your acting career right now? If you could achieve, I do this at the Acts on This meetups. So we do an in-person meetup on the first Saturday of every month, and I get around a big table, and there'll be like anywhere between 20 and 40 of us rock up at these events. And we basically say, listen, what's the one thing, if you could achieve it within the next 30 days, what is the one thing that's going to make everything else in your career like easier or unnecessary? Maybe you wouldn't have to do that if you could achieve this, etc. So I want to know tonight, and I've got a pen. I found a pen I got from Spotlight before, a little Spotlight pen. And I've got some paper, and I want just us to have a really nice, honest chat about where you're at in your career. What's holding you back right now? Well, it might be you. It could be something else in the industry. It could be a lack of knowledge. It could be lack of, something that you don't quite know how to crack right now. And that's really going to, give me the information I need over the next quarter to go out and bring people onto actsonthis.tv who can genuinely make an impact in your career. And it means that you're getting information that's really relevant to you and where you're at. Donna says she's got some burning questions, so I want to hear them, Donna. Shout out again to everyone here. If you're not listening, if you're not listening or watching live, and you're on the replay, listen to all the people who are joining us live here tonight. I've got Indra, I've got John Fisk, I've got Donna Louise Saunders, Inez is here, I've got Carly, Leah, Peter, Angie, Sam, Sarah Jane or Sarah Jane, Mark Joseph in the house, Bernard O'Sullivan, massive shout out to you, mate. Great to see you here. Gary Thomas. Gary, I saw the video you put out before. Gary put a great video on about, he put it on Twitter, about advice he would give his 15-year-old self. I thought it was really good advice. Jamie Begg in the house. All right, mate. I've just noticed I've been big on LinkedIn this week again. I'm really pushing LinkedIn. I'm going to go over LinkedIn a little bit towards the end of this broadcast because I'm creating basically a little mini course for actors on how to absolutely nail LinkedIn. I have been blown away over the last 3 days of just how many opportunities there are for actors on LinkedIn. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am about this platform and how it I just know it's going to change people's careers. LinkedIn right now is like Facebook 2012. It's just about to pop. Swear to God, in the next 2 years, it will become the biggest platform in your career. Or it could be, if you utilize it correctly. I'll talk to you all about that. But Jamie, I noticed you were on there before, mate. Emma's in the house. Emma Drysdale. All right, Emma. I don't know if Petch is watching. Lucy Richardson's here as well. Wendy's here. Dawn's here. Rich Haler all the way from Miami. God, look at all these people. This is incredible. Right, so let's get to work then. Let's have a look. I'll see if I can see what questions have come up so far. Jamie says drama school should teach you how to be a working actor, not just an actor. Totally agree, mate. Honestly, it's like it's the whole reason I set up actsonthis.tv. I was just like, there is just no education on how to get employment, like practical, actionable advice. That isn't just, sometimes I listen to podcasts that other people do and I'm like, this is bullshit. This is just like airy-fairy, like theoretical nonsense. Like, it's all well and good just going, just carry on and you'll get somewhere. But like what I try and do is really get some actionable advice from people in terms of, I always ask everybody, like particularly if I get an actor on who's had massive success, I'm like, if you got rid of it all tomorrow, say for instance, you woke up tomorrow and no one knew who you were, what exact steps would you take to get back to the place you're at right now as quick as possible? And the answers to that's always really interesting. Everybody's got a really different answer for that. All right, Dawn. Fanny's in the house as well. All right, Fanny, hope you're well. Peter says, I'm away celebrating a 4-year anniversary after marrying Alan, my husband. 4-year anniversary, man. Congrats, Peter. Nice one, man. He's asleep, though, he says, because they're up early to travel home. Fair enough. No worries. Gary says, want to know how you created Bulletproof Actor. Was really interested when you said last year it took you a year to develop. So that was that's something that I talk about a lot with actors. Yeah, like it was something that stops a lot of actors in their tracks is revenue in terms of like finances and how much money they're earning from their day job. Because they end up like me for 11 years. I ended up stuck in a job working in a computer game shop for 40 hours a week. I really mean like 30 to 40 hours a week. And I look back and I'm like, I must have been absolutely insane. How on earth did I think investing 30 to 40 hours of my time a week was then going to give me any time at all to progress the thing I actually wanted to do, which is my acting career? It was complete nonsense. And I realised why I was doing that, Gary. And for the most part, it's because all of my friends were doing it as well. Everyone I'd left drama school with, they were all doing that. They were all temping in bars, restaurants, promo work. They were all ultimately giving up all of their time to other people, working, like on an hourly basis for very much like I was minimum wage. And then at the end of the week going, shit, I put nothing into my acting career this week again. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go and spend this money that I've got on minimum wage on getting drunk this weekend because that'll make me feel instantly better. And then I'll get to Sunday night again and then dread it because Monday's coming and again I've done nothing. And mate, I did that for such a long time until I realised the error of my ways. And I turned it around in a year. But one of the biggest things that I did for myself was to build an online business. Mine is around the acting industry, obviously actsonthis.tv. I created a mindset program then called Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, that people can have a look at bulletproofactor.com. But before I even did any of that, I actually built a community around the stock market. I used to dabble in penny shares. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I nearly lost what little money I had back then. But I created a community. These days, with the internet, you can create a community around anything you are passionate about. I swear to God, I've seen such niche communities. Somebody, Jason Broderick, I don't know if he's on here tonight, he was coaching someone the other day who had created a community around pet owners with big dogs who would go and get their nails done together. So the dogs would have their nails clipped, but they were big dogs though, and the owners would go and get a manicure. And they would do this as a thing together. And this woman had created an entire business and community around people spending quality time with their pets like this. And you would go, God, that's so niche. But it was a 6-figure business. She was bringing in over 100 grand a year by creating this community. And we've all, as actors, I think, got other passions that isn't just acting. I would like to think so anyway, because the most interesting actors I know have other passions that aren't just acting. I certainly do. Acting alone would never be enough to keep me fulfilled. The world is so rich and incredible, and we're here for such a short amount of time. I think if you spend it all on one thing, then you're probably doing yourself a disservice. So Gary, I created Bulletproof Actor. And do you know what? I created that very much in a way, do you know what? In a similar way to what we're doing here tonight. So I would go out for coffees with actors. This is when Acts on This was just getting established. And people would see me as this guy who could maybe give them advice. I started working a lot more in TV. I was doing an awful lot of voiceover. And people would be like, listen, can I get a coffee with you? And at the beginning, when you've only got, half a dozen people every few weeks doing that, I could say, yeah, no problem. And I would go to all these coffees. And the thing that I found was holding most actors back, and I still think it's the same today, is their mindset. I believe mindset is absolutely everything. I believe the reason why so many of you lot on here tonight are not where you probably want to be is because you are allowing fear and doubt and anxiety around your own self-worth, whether you are capable enough or not, whether you have enough talent or not, whether you look right or not. Who are you to ask this casting director for a chance or this director for a chance? Who are you to be good enough to write your life story into a short film? All this limiting bullshit that we feed ourselves. And I would sit down for a coffee with these people who were asking me for advice, and it would never be, the problem they had would never really actually be the problem like that they thought they had. It was always them getting in their own way, limiting beliefs around their age. Oh, well, I've come to this, I'm 47, I'm 65, Actually, there's one guy who was in his 70s and actually was the complete opposite. He was like, finally now, I'm giving myself permission to live. I've probably got 30 years left on the planet. I'm going to go for it. But the most part, people were really limited by all kinds of things. And I was like, wow, I would coach people through these sticking, points in their life. I'd studied positive psychology for a decade. I've got a degenerative eye condition. Found out I was going to lose my eyesight at some point in my life. That's why my mum's blind. I just mentioned that at the beginning. I really needed to get my own head right. Like, this was way, way back. This was kind of 2006, I'd say, maybe even before that, 2004. So I studied positive psychology for a whole decade, Gary, and I was like, I can put this into a program to help actors. Now, what I did is I went on a call like this, and I said to everybody, listen, what are you struggling with when it comes to mindset? And I actually sent an email out to my email list. I got about 70 replies for people telling me exactly what they were struggling with. So I went, well, you know what? If I can create a course that actually deals with all of this stuff specifically, I know there's going to be a customer base to buy it, because I'm giving them what they want. And I guess that's kind of what we're doing tonight. I'm like, look, if actsonthis.tv, for all those who are already a member and for those who are thinking of becoming a member, for it to be as impactful as I want it to be, I need to know what content to give you guys. There's no point in me just going, oh, I know what I need in my career, so I'll just give it to these guys who might not be in the same position as me, or they might not be, we're not all in the same place. So you've all ultimately, I know, Gary, you're writing a writing course at the moment, you've all got knowledge to offer. It's called knowledge commerce, effectively. It's tens and tens and tens of $1 billion industry every year. You've all got something you could be teaching online, and you could put a mini course together, a short course together, whack it out for 97 quid. You might get, I don't know, even get 5 people a month signing up to your program. You're offering really good advice, really good, valuable knowledge. You're getting £500 a month extra, which might pay your rent for you. And then you can go, right, well, you know what? I can have a week off work every month, so that I can then double down on my acting career for 7 whole days. If you're only getting 1 day a week in on your acting career right now because it's taken up by, your day job, then effectively you're getting 7 weeks worth of work done on your acting career in 1 week. But you've got to look at, leveraging how you could do that, creating a program. So when you are creating a program, Gary, the main way to guarantee that it's going to be worthwhile for you is to survey people first and ask them exactly what it is they would need from a program like that. I think everybody should start thinking about that. You could create a community around anything you could imagine. And you don't have to be an expert. Like, you just have to be like an enthusiast ultimately, and add value. Just go, what would I have to bring to this community for, I don't know, if I'm charging people a £5 a month or a £10 a month or 20 quid a month, 50 quid a month, whatever it would be. What value would you have to bring to that community to make it an absolute no-brainer? But online business is just available for everybody. And when I first started off this in 2011, I had no clue. Don't think I went to uni to study this. I went and did an acting degree. I had no clue about technology. I didn't know how to even register a domain name for a website. I mean, no clue. I just went, actually, I can go to YouTube, go to Google, and I can type in, how do you register a domain? How do you set up a website? How do you host a website? Ultimately, what I do now in my acting career, if I want something, I will, well, not ask Google, but I will go out and, ask people who have what I want, how they did it. You can always do that, in anything. Donna says she feels frustrated on finding a casting. So an agent to put you forward for auditions, Donna. So you're struggling to get an agent. Okay, so it's two. So it's a bit of a different term. So I don't know if you're in the UK or you're in the US. So you've used the term casting agent there. It's not something we really use in the UK. So you've got an agent, you've got a casting director. So your agent is someone who represents you, who then sends your details off and submits you for auditions through casting directors who will put briefs out to those agents. So what is it that you're struggling with? Is it an agent that you don't have yet that you're looking for? Give us a bit more info on that. And you also said there how to create your own show reels. We can talk about that. Definitely, Jay Jr.'s in the house. Let's have a look. Leah's talking about how he's setting goals and stuff. Right, let's answer Donna's thing first. So she's put a bit more info here. So I've got auditions coming up in my hometown. Not sure how to prep for it. There's all these questions. Right, okay. So how have you got? Let us know how you've got those auditions, Donna. If you don't have an agent yet. Let us know what's the main issue for you right now. If it's getting an agent, what you've really got to do to get an agent ultimately is just convince an agent that show them, there's no convincing involved, that you're looking at it the wrong way. I shouldn't have said convince. Ultimately, show an agent your ability and what you would be like. This is what I did, what I would be like in an audition environment, to give them confidence that if they put their name to me and ultimately their reputation on the line for me, and they were submitting me for, decent auditions, decent TV work, that I would deliver. Might not always get the part, but at least they could rely on me for going and representing that agency, in a really good light. So what I did is, I was in the same boat many years ago. I was struggling to get representation. This was even after I graduated from, an accredited drama school. Whether it was the right decision or wrong decision at the time, I decided to stay with the agent that I'd been with from a child. So from when I was about 16, 17, I went to drama school, and then I went, you know what, I'm freaking loyal. I'm too loyal for my own good. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to stay with the agent that I was with before I went to drama school. And I left drama school and I was still with this agent, and it wasn't really until a year afterwards I realised that it was just a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. They were really looked at as a children's agency. And I knew the time had come to leave when I'd spent 15 grand on an acting degree. Knew I was capable, and this agent after a year phoned me up and went, "Hi Ross, do you want to do some extra work on Hollyoaks?" I was like, for fuck's sake. I've just spent 15 grand on a degree, man. I'm pretty good. I did extra work 7 years ago. Nothing against extra work. If you're brand new to the industry, do it. It'll get you on set. You'll learn an awful lot about how a TV set works, the lingo used on there, and then when you're on set for real, when you actually get jobs, you're going to know what you're doing. So I'm not taking away from that. I just done enough of it by that point. So what I did, I went, right, how can I show an agent that I'm capable and that they can rely on me in an audition? So I seeked out the best acting class for screen that I could find in Manchester. That's where I'm from. And I discovered Michael Jackson at Beverly Keogh casting at the time was setting up a school called Act for TV with another casting director called Chris Maloney. And I went, right, okay, well, these guys are casting directors. For one, that's a great network. So, this isn't an acting tutor. This is a school set up by two casting directors. Well, that's, double whammy there. I'm getting taught skills for screen and auditioning by people who actually audition actors. Brilliant. Which is, again, why, I have a little bit of an issue sometimes when actors decide they're going to set up acting schools, particularly if they haven't actually done that much themselves. I'm like, right, okay. But that's for another night. And I went, right, I'm going to go to this acting class. And if it's a screen acting class, you're put on camera every single week. And these guys filmed the scenes and stuff we were doing as if it was an audition. So basically every week it was like you were in an audition. So at the start, I was shitting my pants. Every time you'd hear that, right, okay, we're going to go for a take, we're going to go for like, put one on camera, you'd hear the camera going beep, be like, oh my God, like, it was horrible. But then the more you do it week on week on week on week on week, it becomes very, very, very normal. And that's the place you want to get it to, where you're like, actually, you know what? This acting class, an audition, a real audition I go to just ends up feeling like an acting class. That's when things started changing massively for me, and I started booking a lot of work. I was no longer massively intimidated by the audition process. But before that, before I was even getting any real auditions, I picked 3 of my best performances from acting class. And I went, right, I'm going to just edit these together very crudely, just basically cut them together on a free piece of editing software on my Mac at the time. It's called iMovie. You can still get it for your Mac. It's completely free. There's probably Windows Movie Maker or whatever it is, the equivalent for PC. And I used that to send to agents to go, listen, like, this isn't show reel footage, because it certainly isn't. On a whole, just like even some of the best, or perceived best acting schools who shoot, not acting schools, but acting classes who shoot show reel material from class material, I think it's bullshit. I think they're liars. Like, honestly, it sounds brutal, but there's a few acting classes that are like, we're going to give you show reel quality footage from your acting class. No, they're not. No, they're not. Honestly, they don't. They end up churning out 12 identical scenes in one night. The audio on the ones I've seen is absolutely awful. You can barely hear it. It might be edited to different angles, so it's not just like one shot. So visually, it's not like horrific. But honest to God, like, don't use it as show reel footage. What you can use it for is to show to agents. So I wouldn't bother with showing it to casting directors. It's still too amateur. But for for agents, it's fine. Just shows you basically what you're like, on screen, or, even it can be even simpler than that, literally you against a plain wall, like it was a self-tape. I sent that to the agents that I'd researched. So, Google again is your friend. You just research, acting agents Manchester, acting agents London, posting the Acts on This Facebook group. If you're a member of actsonthis.tv, bring it up on screen right now. We've got hang on 1 second. The screen's going to go black for a second. You should still be able to hear me, but I'm just going to bring up a page on Acts on This. You should still be able to hear me now, but you won't be able to see anything for a second. Now you should be able to see. So on actsonthis.tv, we've got a private community. This is what was going on today. So I post stuff on here that I don't post in the Facebook group. So today it's Bank Holiday bonus hour. Basically, I was like, look, guys, it's Bank Holiday Monday. Don't just not do anything on a bank holiday. Today, none of your competition is doing anything.Use 1 hour today to get ahead of people for the rest of this week. So people have been posting in here, like, the things that they're doing today. But if you want to know about agents and you think it might be, a bit sensitive what you're talking about, you don't want to, say you're changing agents if you're with one at the moment, and you don't want to go in the Facebook group, if you're a member of actsonthis.tv, there's a private community nobody else can get access to. Come and post your questions in there. There's hundreds of us in there who can help you, actually recommend agents, decent agents. So you're not wasting your time. Once you've picked out the agents you want to apply to, you've done your research. Basically, you want to go on their website, make sure they don't have another 10 people like you. Send your stuff to them. Keep it very brief. Ultimately, see what you get back. If you really want to know the ins and outs of exactly what to write to these people, again, actsonthis.tv, I've done. If I go to what's new here, let's have a look. I've done 3 great, super in-depth podcasts with agents. Recently, I had Alex Priestley on. It's that lady there. She runs Priestley Talent. Awesome new agency in Manchester. Alex used to head up the actors department at PHA, another big agency in Manchester. She set up on her own, doing amazing things for actors. If I search up here, there's a little search bar at the top. If you search for the word Jane, Jane, you'll find... Here's the interview I did with my own acting agent. Again, these are all like an hour and a half long. And then I've got another one with Guy Howe. If you search for the word Guy, and we've got inside the agency, that one there. Inside the agency with WGM talent agent Guy Howe. 3 super, super in-depth podcasts on how to get an agent. These guys literally... answer the question that I asked them. If I wanted to sign with you as an actor and you had no clue who I was, how would I go about it? What would I need to send you? What would I need to say in my email? What would I need to show you? They tell you all. Like, if you just act on it, whole point of the website, you will you'll make waves. You know, you'll definitely have a lot more success than you're having right now. That would be what I would do to get an agent. If I was starting again, I'll be going, right, I want to get into a decent class, and I want to get some evidence that I can act in an audition environment, and I'm then going to research my agents that haven't got a lot of actors like me. I'm going to send them my stuff, and if I don't hear back from them, I'm going to follow it up, you know, with a phone call a few days later, a week later or something, just to say, listen, you can actually, even before you send stuff, I would generally ring anyway and just say, listen, don't want to spend any time, we're not wasting your time like at the moment, but I just want to ask you a very quick question. Which email address do I send submissions to for representation? Just so I know it's going to the right person within the agency, because there might be an agency with 4 people working in it, or the bigger agencies, many, many more than that, dozens. So you want to make sure it's going to the right desk. So that's what I would do. Solomon's in the house. Greetings from Hounslow. All right, Solomon. Steve's at McDonald's at the moment, apparently. All right, Steve. Let's have a look. So what else have I got? What have I there's been a lot of chat going on here. What have I missed? Let's see what I've got. I'm determined to get Bobby's looking to get a novel published. Can't help you with novels, Bobby. I've never done that before, mate. Ever. But there's a load. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? Bobby said he filmed a scene for his first feature film this week. Get everybody just supporting each other. It's good. Everyone's having a nice chat here. All right, Rich. I've released. So Peter's talking about limiting beliefs again, releasing all those. There's so many people, just completely held back by themselves. Like, it's just the most common thing that I see, not just in the acting industry. I mean, just literally in life. I caught myself doing it a few weeks ago. I told you on the last broadcast. I was like, look, I really want to start presenting, you know, on TV now. You know, I've done enough presenting online and stuff, you know, to feel that I'm capable. But I know my eye condition was holding me back, because I was, you know, completely hung up on being able to read auto cue and stuff. And I got sick of my own bullshit. I'm like supposed to be the high performance guy, like, and in every area of my life I generally am, but I still know I have issues where fear will creep in if I'm not conscious around what I'm capable of vision wise. And I was like, I'm just sick of my own bullshit. Now, I got on LinkedIn, and I'll go over LinkedIn again in a minute because I just think it's so underutilized. And I reached out to a guy at ITV, and to cut a long story short, I got a meeting with him. And 15 minutes into that meeting last week, he basically was like, mate, I'm going to make this documentary with you, this idea for a documentary I want to present. It was only me holding myself back until that point. You know, I was just looking for, I don't even know if I was looking for permission from anybody else. I just was like, it wasn't brave enough at the time to just step out. And I did, and I got what I wanted. I wasn't asking for enough. So I think you've got to just ask for way more than you're probably asking for right now. Fanny says she's massively challenged by finding what it is I could teach to a good standard and online. I feel I've much to offer as a side hustle, but for 2 years now, I've been trying to find what I could possibly do. The struggle is real. Right, so Chris Edge is in the house. Well, all right, Chris, good to see you here, mate. So for those who are like, right, I want to set up an online business on the side to subsidize my acting career, I would ask myself these 3 questions, right? Okay, for it to be a success, you've got to be passionate about it. Okay, so I'd say, right, first of all, if I ask you, Fanny, so what are you passionate about? Okay, get a piece of paper out and a pen and just list, like, you'll have passions in your life. You might have 10, 15 of these passions, everything from, it could be acting, could be singing. I know you do a lot of singing, songwriting. You've published songs on iTunes. I would have absolutely no clue how to publish a song on iTunes if I wanted to get a song on iTunes in the iTunes store and sell it. I've no clue. You're an expert on that compared to me, right? That could be something. I would write down all the things I'm passionate about, 10, 15 things. I would then ask myself the question, what am I good at? Because you're going to have to be good at it. I can be passionate about, I don't know, basketball. I mean, I'm not, but I could be, but I'm shit at it. So there's no point. I'm not going to be able to teach that to a good standard, or people are not at least going to be able to pay me for it. They're not going to want to pay me for that because I'm not very good at it. You can be passionate about stuff, but still not very good at it. So what are you passionate about, and what are you good at? And then the third question is, what would people pay to learn effectively? There is things that you know now that you would have paid to know a year ago. So 12 months ago, to have the knowledge in your head that you have right now, that you've amassed over the last 12 months, you'd have paid good money for that. I definitely would have. to the tune of hundreds of pounds. It would have been well worth me paying money to learn the things that I've learned. Even in the last 3 weeks, if I'd known them a year ago, they would have been impacting my career and my business. So what you're passionate about, what you're good at, and what will people pay money for? And if you just write a list of those things down, and look at where the overlap is, and you will find, well, I would assume you will find something in the area that, you might have to sort of massage it a bit and develop it a bit, but you'll find something that absolutely you could create an online program for, you create a community around, all kinds of stuff. But you've got to, it's not just going to come at you just straight away. And also sometimes it's like, you'll be like, why would would anybody really kind of pay for that? And you'll want to talk yourself out of, it's like you don't appreciate how much you know. Sometimes I do this with features and acts on this.tv. I'm like, I'm not going to create a feature about, how to get on Spotlight, because everyone knows that. And then I'm like, I was like this last week. I was like, well, actually, you know what? If I was brand new to the industry, completely brand new, Donna's brand new, only actor in a family, she says it, maybe if you're really new and you've been in this industry 2 or 3 weeks, you just get into it, you'd have no clue how to get on Spotlight. So I've now arranged to get one of the career advisors from Spotlight on a really quick, it'll be like a 20-minute podcast. It's not going to be one of these in-depth live chats that I have with a lot of other people. It's just going to be practical, right, what's the fastest way I can get on Spotlight? And that's me just going, well, that's me not valuing the knowledge that I have and, and presuming that everybody else knows the basics. And it's like, actually, they don't. So don't overthink it. There will be something there. Mark says, I wrote an ebook, doesn't bring in huge amounts, a few grand a year, but better than a slap in the face. Well, man, if you've written an ebook, Mark, that is bringing in a few thousand a year, that's amazing. And you could probably get better at marketing it and bring in 10,000 a year if you put some time into, learning more about marketing, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, a bit more social media kind of stuff. That's amazing to bring a few £1,000 in from an ebook. That's absolutely awesome. Let's have a look. God, there's so many comments here tonight. Let's have a look. See what other questions. Apologies if I've missed anything. It's like I'm well behind all these comments. There's so many here. Elliot's here. All right, Elliot. Nothing is stopping me from trying. It's making the right pitch to the right people and getting noticed. So where are you at, Elliot? You're going to have to kind of expand a little bit. I'll scroll down the comments to see if you've said anything else. But for people who are like, right, in terms of raising your profile, building more of a brand around you as an actor. Brand, don't get it twisted. Like, your brand is just your reputation. Ultimately, when somebody, I always look at brand as like what people say about me when I'm not there. Ultimately, and I hope it's good most of the time. Lewis Arnold tweeted me the other day, said he did a workshop, and people were saying how good acting this was, and I was like, right, that's nice. The brand is working. Visibility equals credibility and opportunity, ultimately. So the more visible you can be, Elliot, the more credible you're going to appear, and the more opportunity is going to come your way. This is why I think LinkedIn is freaking... I'm going to show you a little bit of LinkedIn because I'm just absolutely besotted with it right now. I did not realize how much LinkedIn has changed over the last couple of years. I went to a business conference recently and I learned a lot over 2 days about LinkedIn. I spent this weekend completely changing my my profile up on LinkedIn to make it rank much better, basically. Where is it? Here it is. So this is my new profile. It never used to look like this at all. It was absolutely terrible until a couple of days ago. But yeah, LinkedIn basically massively underutilized. This was where I found the guy at ITV to basically reach out. A lot of people just think it's all about, casting directors. It's not, guys. The more people you can meet, other actors, producers particularly, and directors, just the better. Now, LinkedIn... is amazing because when you link in with somebody, you then get to see all of their contacts as well. Give me some ideas of who's actually on LinkedIn, who's used it. So all these comments here. Let me go to the bottom and I'll see what we've got. So Caroline's here as well. All right, Caroline. Give me some comments if you're on LinkedIn, right? So basically, LinkedIn is like a professional version of Facebook. Although it's becoming less and less for kind of like businessmen and it all being business to business people. There's a lot of business to consumer, business, ultimately just a lot more opportunities for networking across the board. John says on LinkedIn, Jamie says LinkedIn is invaluable, couldn't run a business without it. It is, Dougal's here as well. All right, Dougal. It is mega. So I spent the last couple of days ultimately just fleshing out like my bio on here, exactly what it is I do. This used to just say Ross Grant actor. It's like, it's actually just not what I'm about. So people are looking me up on LinkedIn, or I'm reaching out to people on LinkedIn asking for opportunities, and they're like, well, mate, like, I have no clue who you are or what you're doing. I didn't have a decent picture on there. I hadn't mentioned anything about acts on this. It says now that you're helping actors work more, stress less. It's got information about me, what I do, acting, presenting, my voiceover stuff on there, act on this, Bulletproof Actor, speaking stuff that I do, my vlog. It's got rich links to my vlog now, so you can click on these and you can actually watch episodes of the weekly vlog that I put out. You can now publish articles to LinkedIn as well. I mean, ultimately, it's the same ethos as I use everywhere, Elliot. If you want to get noticed, you've got to add value to people's lives. Same on Twitter, joining the conversations that casting directors and directors and writers and producers are having, promote other people's stuff, celebrate other people's wins. If someone's like, I just got this job, yay, be happy for them, kind of, like you can be. A lot of actors aren't, they're a bit twisted and bitter about it. But you've got to add a lot of value to people's lives first before you ever ask them for anything. But what I mean, for instance, right, if you were starting off on LinkedIn, I mean, I'm going to show you in this program I'm putting together what you should have in your profile, where you should have it, the keywords you should have in your stuff, how you're going to be found, the people you should be linking in with. But what you could do, I mean, if let's just go to the feed. I'm LinkedIn now with like 600 plus other actors, and you'll be like, well, what good are other actors to my career? They're freaking invaluable, because when you're seeing everything that they're posting in their career on LinkedIn, you get a really good kind of feel for exactly what's going on in the industry. You're going to see other opportunities. You're going to know whether they're people you want to work with or not, whether you can have value to their lives or not, what collaboration you can make. So John might be on the broadcast here, but I've linked him with John Moody. So he's an actor in the Acts on This community. He just retweeted something that, not retweeted, I'm not on Twitter. He just reposted on LinkedIn a quote from Spotlight. So Spotlight have a business page on LinkedIn. Again, I had no clue about this before, never used this before. So I didn't really know, what people have on it. Now I can go like people, click on people. Now this would normally show you the employees at these businesses, but obviously there's a lot of actors out there who are just like, I'm an actor at Spotlight. So LinkedIn presumes all these people work at Spotlight. They don't, they're just on Spotlight. But look at all these people. I've got 400 and how many? 11 people who are Spotlight registered actors. These are people who are taking their career seriously. They're paying for Spotlight every year. And these are people who I presume are, for the most part, working actors who, if I'm brand new to the industry, someone like you, Donna, if you're brand new, you're not on Spotlight yet, you're like, I have no clue how to get on Spotlight. You can go, right, okay, I'm going to connect. I'm just going to do it now. So who's this? Michael Austin. Professional actor at Spotlight. No clue who Michael Austin is, but we share 24 connections, so he knows 24 people I know. So when you know somebody, they're classed as a first-degree connection of yours. So the people they know are classed as second-degree connections, and the people who they know, the next sort of degree removed, are third degree. So you can see kind of like how close these people are to you. So I can literally just click connect. Now I can send Michael a message if I knew him, going, hey Michael, it's Ross, great to connect, or whatever. I'm just going to send that. So it says invitation pending. Now when Michael links in with me, all of his first degree connections become my second degree connections. All of my first degree connections become his second degree connections. So he's one step closer to them. When somebody's a second degree connection, you can send them a message whether you're linked in with them or not. You can go premium if you want and just pay shitloads of money, like 50 quid a month, to send anybody on here a message, but I'm not doing that. But it's worth going through and going, right, I'm just going to connect with all these actors, because everyone who I connect with is going to know other people in the industry. For me, who runs a business, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go, who's Ross? Right, I'm going to go to Ross's profile. I'm going to have a look at him. Who is this guy? Oh, what's acts on this? I've no clue. If I click on contact info, I can then go to actonthis.tv. I can watch the vlog. So it's sending more traffic to my vlog, sending more traffic to the website, more business opportunities, more potential collaborations. Maybe there's people on here who'll be like, actually, I want to come on the site and do a podcast with you. For you, whether you run a business or not, it doesn't matter. Maybe you have your LinkedIn rich snippets here, these videos at the bottom. Maybe you're like, actually, this is my show reel. This is my short film that I've just made. I'm now going to link in with all of these producers and all of these people who fund feature films, so they can come, have a look at my profile, see the short that I've produced that I want to make into a feature. Maybe these guys might be interested in funding it. There's so much on here that you can do, and it's just like, it's blown my mind in terms of how much this has come on. It never used to be like this. A few years ago when I started using LinkedIn, it was literally just guys in suits working for Microsoft and IBM. There wasn't really like anything going on, when it came to the arts or anything creative whatsoever. So I'm going to put a whole series of stuff together. Probably about 117 or so, 120, 130, like step-by-step tips of things you should be doing on LinkedIn. But definitely start utilizing that. That's a place, Elliot, you can get major visibility, which is then going to lead to credibility, which is then going to lead to your opportunity that you're going to get on there. And it all comes down to action. The thing is, what I'll say is, I guarantee you, I'll put out this LinkedIn training. Loads of people will do it. The brutal reality is hardly anyone will act on it. This is just what I find, like, in everything, in terms of like the real top 1%, 3% of the industry are there because because they're more intelligent, they've got more knowledge, or they've got more skill. They've just taken more action. So it's just all about going, look, what am I doing in the evenings? I might work a 9 till 5 job. What am I doing 5 till 9? Am I watching the new series of Game of Thrones? Or am I jumping on LinkedIn, connecting with people, writing an article on the new short film that I'm creating, or publicizing other people's stuff, adding value to other people's lives, volunteering to go on film sets, to, I don't know, bloody make tea for an independent film so you can just be on set and meet people. What are you actually doing to get that visibility that's going to bring you that credibility? Think outside the box, man. There's so much opportunity online right now. What else have we got? Donna says, I'm actually thinking about teaching children in drama and dance. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's something I see a lot of people doing and having success with. I think drama and stuff is really valuable for kids. If you can really commit to that and earn money from that, then you can quit. I can't remember what the other job you said you did. You did post up above the other job that you do, but I know it wasn't. I don't think it was anything to do with the arts, was it? So Gary says, need to write the novel first, then write a book proposal. Get it written, Gary. Steve says, I'm looking at venturing into stand-up comedy. Got the same feelings about it. In terms of what, Steve? In terms of what I had about presenting. So you've got imposter syndrome. Everyone has it. That's the absolute natural thing for everybody. They all feel, God, I mean, so, I've done interviews with like BAFTA winners, Oscar winners, RTS winners, Olivier winners. I mean, winners of every single accolade on the planet. Debbie Horsfield was a classic, incredibly gifted writer. She wrote Poldark, massive. She came up to me at the read-through, and she's like, after the first episode, she's like, oh, phew, right, I can speak to you now, Ross. Like, now I got the first episode out of the way. I'm always just waiting for, that to be the one where people find out I'm shit. I'm like, what? Like, everyone thinks you're brilliant. This was at the read-through for Age Before Beauty, BBC One drama. Everyone's got it, no matter who you are. Like, you've just got to step up, embrace it, Steve, and just push through it, man. Definitely, you can do it, and you're funny. So just give it a crack. We'll come and watch you. You should do. You know what you can do as well for stand up. You don't even need to go to like a comedy club, man. Just hit live on Facebook on your phone. We'll tune in. If it's shit, just delete it. Nobody ever has to know. Definitely. So have a crack. Fanny says, but the answer all comes back to acting. It's everything, my passion, and I'm good at it. However, I can't teach that online. It's too big a feel. No, so you don't have to teach acting. I would never teach acting. Like, I don't ever feel, no matter how much I work, I'm not qualified to teach acting. My like method of whatever you want to call it, it's going to be so different to everyone else's. It works for me. It's not going to work for everybody else. I just wouldn't do it. I don't like, unless you're a megastar. You know, you're Michael Caine, you're Will Smith, you know, somebody like that. I don't like actors teaching acting a lot of the time, unless you've really had massive success. You know what, and that's probably based on past experience, because the actors I'm seeing teaching acting right now are basically, they've failed in their own careers. They can't make any money out of it themselves. So now what they're doing is making money out of other actors, which pisses me off, and promising them the success that they never had. And I say this all the time, but before you sign up for anything, anyone in here who's new, before you get a membership at actsonthis.tv, the website that I run, go and look at my IMDb, look at the voiceover work that I'm doing, look at the animation work that I'm doing, you know, look at what I'm doing before you're like, I'm going to trust this guy. If I hope you do trust me. Like, I am legit, but I'd want you to actually go digging and go, right, can I trust this guy? Is this worth 10 quid a month? What is this guy? Is he practicing what he's preaching? It's the whole reason why I did the vlog, and I do like this vlog every couple of weeks to show you what's going on in my own life and behind the scenes of everything that's going on at Acts on This. Because I'm like, authenticity is everything. So I wouldn't worry about like having to teach acting, Fanny, like per se, like the whole, like, it's a big landscape, isn't it? What's the one thing, I guess the one thing that kind of I see you doing the most is producing your own content. So you obviously know how to edit video, how to shoot video on your phone. You've produced songs, you've published songs, like I say, on iTunes, you've done that sort of stuff. You know YouTube, you know how to design YouTube thumbnails. All these things that are very specific, that a lot of other actors would be like, well, you know what, I'd like to put my own skits out or my own sketches, but I've no clue how to even film anything. You could produce a program that's an hour long that could be, 10 6-minute videos that teaches people exactly how to get their first video up on YouTube, their first comedy sketch up on YouTube. They've got a nicely designed YouTube channel and, some basics on how to promote it. Simple. Don't have to, you're probably just overthinking it, to be honest with you. And that goes, for everybody. Like, I don't know a thing about, like, baking cupcakes or playing the guitar. Like, anybody who's ever baked a cake is an expert to me. Anyone who can play one song on a guitar is an expert to me. I would pay to learn from them because they know way more than me. A lot of people are like, oh, because I'm not a guru in this. I'm not a guru. In the acting industry, I just collate and curate lots of information and interviews from other people, and then I utilize that information myself. It's not like I know, when I do a podcast on actsonthis.tv with somebody, I don't already know half the time the information they're sharing with me and the listeners. Like, it's not like I'm going, oh, okay, right, come and put on this stuff and we'll talk about all this stuff I already know. I'm learning. That's the brilliant thing about it. I'm learning so much from the people I interview. The minute I've interviewed and edited that, put it out for you guys, I'm listening to it back too. Might sound a bit egotistical, but I'm not listening to me, I'm listening to the guest. And then what I'm doing is I'm going out and I'm acting on that information that they've given me, and it's giving me results in my career. I'm booking more work all the time. I'm having more success. I'm meeting more people. It's really valuable. It's not like I'm the guru going, right, okay, I know everything, so, I don't need to listen to this. You could do that in other areas. There's people out there, I don't have a single interest. Chris on here has an interest. Chris Edge, I know, has a big interest in theatre. I have, like, right now in my life, just to be dead honest with you, I only want to work in TV. I have very little interest in theatre. Did theatre at drama school, got along with it, enjoyed it, but again, because of the struggle that I have with my eyes, blackouts in the theatre are awful. I can't see a thing because I'm night blind. It just becomes a chore. My spatial awareness is terrible. So theatre's not nice for me, to be honest with you. TV, love it. Very, very, specifically blocked out. You can have as many takes as you want. It's very forgiving. So I don't want to work in theatre. So Acts on This is called the TV Actors Network. I've seen over the years many people come and go when they've tried to create the same kind of network for theatre lovers and for people who want to work in theatre. No one's doing that. Like, Chris is really passionate about that, and he emailed me about it, saying maybe it could be a subsection of Acts on This. I'm like, it's just not something that, I see, to be honest, within this business. Nothing wrong with it. It's always a great idea. But what I'll go back to what I talked about before. Your passion, meeting something you're good at, meeting something people will pay for. Theatre's just not my passion. Thus, I'm not going to be as good at it as Chris would be at it. So, you could create that. Someone needs to do that. That just isn't in the industry. Jason has the hustle, I think, but that's more about surviving as kind of like a theatre actor and sorting your digs out and all this sort of stuff. There's nothing that's actually like, look, guys, let's talk about auditioning for theatre. I have auditioned for a theatre job once in my life. I've done 20 odd telly jobs, but I've auditioned for theatre once, bar drama school. I know nothing about it. Like, someone should be doing that. Definitely. All right, Dougal. He says he's late this time. You're not late, mate. It's fine. Mark's updating his LinkedIn right now. Mark, mate, you wait till I put this program out, man. It's honestly, it's going to transform like the way people, just the way people network and get work. I swear to God. Like, I just want to be historically correct. So like, I'll probably like cut a piece of this broadcast out in like 2021 just to go, told you I was right. What else is going on? Angie says she feels like she's missing out on a lot of casting opportunities. In what sense, Angie? Let me know a little bit more on that score. Donna says she's learning a lot right now. Nice one, Donna. I didn't used to like it filming with dread, but it feels so different now and a lot slicker. LinkedIn does, doesn't it? Definitely. Valerie says, I've been teaching and coaching acting and really good at it. Got a great mailing list. My students want to see me act, although they see it in classes. I'm now back in the acting game after a break. I need to find that inspiration. Yeah, so you actually went kind of like actor turned acting coach, Valerie, didn't you? And now you're back doing it. So, I mean, that's great. I need to find that inspiration I have for helping students for myself now. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I felt that at times, definitely. That's why I did Bulletproof. I'm making progress. I'm with an acting collective agency. It's strange though, back in it after a break. Yeah, it was just different, innit? It's different. So you've, that's interesting. Because that's what I was saying before. I'm like, I feel like you're either an actor or there's great acting coaches. Nothing wrong with being an acting coach if you've never acted. Some of the best boxing coaches have never boxed. The best swimming coaches never swam, That's fine. But you kind of like, you've gone all in. So you've done your acting, took a break. You've then taught for a long time. Then you're back going, right, actually, you know what? I'm going to start doing this myself. So that's an interesting route. But at least, you've been dedicated to each thing, separately along the way. Never too late to get back into it. Get cracking. LinkedIn, like Facebook 2012, right? So yeah, that's where I think it's at. So Facebook in 2012 was kind of just beginning to pop. I remember. I think that's what LinkedIn's just about to do. Alison's here. All right, Alison. I hope you're well. People are on LinkedIn as we speak. If you're listening on the replay, let me know. Tweet me at ActOnThisTV, at Ross A. Grant. And link in with me. Just search for Ross Grant on LinkedIn. Everyone on here as well, if you're on LinkedIn, please link in with me. You'll get access to earn all of my connections. I think there's 600 of them. I've accumulated them, collected them all over the years, loads of great people. Never utilised it. I just went on it I went on it on Friday. I was like, this weekend I'm gonna really, sort out my LinkedIn profile. It's still not finished. There's still loads of work to do on it. But yeah, I'm just, like I say, I'm amazed by how it's evolved. LinkedIn 15 years ago was dreadful. It's evolved hugely, now becoming properly useful, says Inez. It definitely is. Definitely. Are you doing book club soon? Caroline, I've not done a book club in such a long time. So on these live broadcasts, I would do a book club every other week where we look at all the books behind me, or we'd look at a particular book and I would read a book or a chapter of a book to people. I haven't done it in ages, have I? Let's get back on the book club. If you go to actonthis.tv/book list, you'll see I think it's 12 or 20 books. I can't remember how many put on there, in a book list of the ones I think everyone should read this year. So in the meantime, until we start the book club up again, go and have a look at actonthis.tv/book list. It's got links to Amazon where you can even buy the books. There's some really, really powerful books on there that will change your life. Every single one of them is different and covers different ground. They're mostly personal development books, being more productive, sorting your mind out, building confidence, feeling fear and doing it anyway. Lots of really, really great books. Tony says, I got a certificate for speaking, still got imposter syndrome. He's got a certification for speaking. Tony, man, I'm doing a lot more speaking. I just got invited to speak at a really big event up in Newcastle at the later this year, October, I think it is. It'll be the biggest audience I've spoken in front of. interesting. I love it. I think again though, it's like being on stage for the first time as an actor. It's kind of like you got to just use that adrenaline, man, like for good, and set your intention. This is what I always do before I speak. Set my intention before I go on stage. Get clear, and you should do that before you go into any audition. What is your intention? And your intention should always be, it is for me anyway, to leave the people I'm about to meet in that room, the casting director, the director, the producer, the writer, whoever it is. It could be the casting assistant that's the only person that's there that day. I don't care. My intention is always to leave that person better than I found them. That's it. That's how you get remembered in life, how you get remembered in this game. Regardless of your performance, if you leave people better than you found them, people want you around, they'll call you back in, or they'll just give you the job because they want you on set, because you're the sort of person, in this time of year when, I don't know, they're like shooting late into the night, but they're losing the sunlight. They're like, we've got 10 minutes left to get this shot. We're losing the daylight, go. If you're the person who's kind of the guy with a can-do attitude or the girl with a can-do attitude, as opposed to the person who comes into the audition with a bad attitude but is a better actor, they're just going to go with you because you're the sort of person they want around when like time's against them, as opposed to somebody who might be a little bit more capable, acting-wise, but like it's just a total idiot. One thing I've been doing is background artist, just get my foot through the door in the acting world. Honestly, Donna, it's a really good thing to do. You don't need to do it for ages, but do 6 months of that or whatever. You'll learn loads of lingo. You'll learn loads of the stuff that people, and the jobs that people do on set. I had no idea who a grip was. I didn't know, what electricians really did on set. I didn't know what the lighting guy's job was, the boom operator's job. Didn't really understand camera movements, how that worked. Just lingo. That you'll, number ones split. Everyone number ones basically means get back to where you begin the scene. If you don't know what that is, you'll be like, what are you talking about? Number ones? What? No idea what you're on about. So it's really useful to observe as a background artist. You get to see all the other actors, who are the featured roles, doing their thing. Nothing wrong with that at all. Last Monday worked on Ackley Bridge. My mate Rob Collier's on Ackley Bridge. I think he's just finishing. I think it finishes this week, doesn't it? Something like that. He's a good guy though. I've been to lessons where I'm more experienced than the teacher, says Caroline. What's that about? That's what I mean. That's the thing. It's like there are a few people that I've seen pop up. There's just, there is a lot of snake oil in this industry. That's why, Act on this, the reputation of it is my reputation. That's why I'm just so legit. I'm just completely legit. My own acting career is tied up so much within that site. I couldn't do anything that was even remotely what people would see as, not authentic. But I do see, as in any industry, someone put an acting job on eBay the other day, didn't they? They sold a role in their short film for 500 quid on eBay. And they were like, if you want to launch your son or daughter's career, £500. Stuff like that is bullshit. But you do get, you're going to get a lot of that in all walks of life. Definitely. How does one get onto Spotlight without credit? Solomon, you don't, man. You've got to get credit. So you need... Oh, this is why I'm doing this podcast. It's either 3 or 4. Can anybody clarify for me? 3 or 4 acting credits, professional acting credits. They can't be from commercials or music videos. They can be from short films. If you perform at Monologue Slam, anyone who's struggling to get the last credit for Spotlight, Google Monologue Slam, run by a great guy, Jimmy Akinbola, Fraser Ayres and his wife as well. Triforce Creative Network created it. It's now accredited with Spotlight. If you perform at Monologue Slam, you get an official credit for that you can use, to gain access to Spotlight. But Solomon, you need credits. That should be like your first thing. If you're like, right, this is this is what I'm going to do for a career. You need to be on Spotlight. I still see people whinging about having to pay for Spotlight, but I'm like, honest to God, if you're not on it, it's impossible to really have a career. In terms of, a credible career, on top TV drama, nothing goes out on anything really but Spotlight. Occasionally, if they're looking for something super, super, super specific, or very young actors, you'll see even the top casting directors putting stuff out. I see Shaheen Baig still putting stuff out on Twitter when she's looking for 12 to 14-year-old girls who are like a very specific ethnicity, or something like that. That'll go out on Twitter still. The kids of 12 probably aren't on Spotlight, particularly if they're looking for, something very, very specific. But if you're an adult, generally speaking, and you're supposed to be taken seriously, you've got to be on Spotlight. You just have to be. So I'll be looking definitely to be getting those credits, Solomon, 100%, man. Fanny is very funny, says Rich. Fanny's completely off her head. You've definitely got something to teach people, though, Fanny, 100%. Let's have a look. Rich says, check out her songs. Yeah, Fanny's got so. Look at that. Stop flirting. Where drama teachers haven't a clue what they're talking about. What's that? At some classes? It's because there's no qualifications, like in terms of equity. Don't say, right, okay, to call yourself, it's not like, there's not a lot of like, doctors just setting up hospitals, are there? Okay, yeah, I've failed as a doctor, so I'm just going to set up a hospital of my own and just get my own patients. You can't really do that. That's illegal. In the acting industry, you don't need anything to just say you're anything. People can wake up tomorrow, say they're an agent, they're an actor, they're a casting director. No one's going to hold them accountable. There are things like, the actors, there's like, obviously there's equity, the Actors Union. There's things like the Casting Directors Guild that really make you legit in terms of, you go, okay, they're a member of X, so they must be legit, but there's no law about it. So yeah, just, do your due diligence. If you get ripped off in this industry, to be honest, don't want to sound harsh, but it's like you kind of deserve it. You've not done enough research. Always just, IMDb is just a great place. Look, if I just bring up a web browser and I just go to, for those who don't know this, www.imdb.com. It stands for International Movie Database. Oh, what's going on here with my internet? I've typed it in clearly wrong, haven't I? No, imdb.com. Come on, internet. Safari can't find that page. Have I just done this wrong? IMDb. Hey, there we go. Don't know what I typed in there. Right, imdb.com. Any actor, basically, who's been in anything on TV, automatically gets assigned an International Movie Database page. They don't have to set it up themselves. It gets done for them. This is the amazing thing. When you've gone from having no credits to one credit, you'll find, like, you've been on Coronation Street for one episode or whatever. You'll just go to IMDb one day and you go, holy shit, I've got an IMDb page. I remember the first time I got a credit. I was like, yes, I'm legit. And you just type in somebody's name. I mean, look, I'll just find mine. Look, just type in Ross Grant. There I am. Same picture that I've got on LinkedIn. And then you just see, you see a bit of blurb, you see a picture, and you'll see, credits. So there's the credits. There's the stuff on TV that I've appeared in. Before you part with money to anybody, if they're an actor and they're like, I'm going to teach you this, that, and the other, just like do some due diligence. Just research them, Google them. Like, you shouldn't be giving anybody any money for stuff if you've not done your research. Definitely. What else have we got on here? We'll just give it 5 more minutes. I'm missing some comments. Facebook doesn't show me all these comments, guys, unfortunately. It gives me like highlights or something. I need to reset like the way this feed works or something so I see everything. Can't wait for your lowdown on LinkedIn. Laura's here. All right, Laura. Laura, honestly, blow your mind. But you know what? I'm going to put it together so it's literally just step by step. I'm going to explain every single field on LinkedIn, exactly what you want to put in each one. Exactly how long you want like things to be in terms of descriptions and all this sort of stuff. I'm going to show people how to create nice imagery for banners and stuff like that, and then how you can search for the people who ultimately are gonna impact your career. For those who have businesses, would it be useful? Just let me know on here, because I don't know if I'll do this or not. If people want it, I would do. For those who do have businesses that are supporting their acting career, there's a lot of people in here who have all kinds of business that are unrelated to the acting industry. It's also an incredible place to get leads and generate clients in whatever business. If you want some kind of coaching on LinkedIn ads and how you can do that, because LinkedIn ads are even more valuable than Facebook ads right now in terms of they are even more underpriced. They're not as expensive, and their organic reach and just how you can target people is just incredible. If that would be useful, let me know, and I might do a little module on that as well. When do you expect to release your LinkedIn program, says Bernard? I'm going to start literally writing it this week. So, I mean, it's not going to be massive. And what it'll include, though, is it'll include some live calls like this where I actually bring you all on live and I go through things live. So there'll be a real kind of like interactive element like that. So you can all be filling out your stuff as I'm showing you, kind of how it works on here. But I reckon by what we end of May, 4 weeks, something like that, I'll have it together. I'll put it out there, get everybody on a call, and yeah, it's just going to be the catalyst. You know, it's not going to be anything like crazy, you know, hours and hours and hours worth. But I'll create some videos, some tutorials. I'll create a PDF workbook, and I will do a live training as well. And we'll just get people on just to be the kickstart ultimately. It might actually be what it's called, LinkedIn Kickstart, but yeah, it's just to get people using it, because I just think it's, you know, hugely valuable. And right now, you know, there's only us lot really on here. I mean, how many people have been on this stream tonight? There'll be like, in total, there's 32 people watching right now. Normally on these live streams, there's like 120 to 200 people. The rest of the acting industry, no one's looking at this shit. Like, honestly, this is completely untapped in terms of a resource. It won't be in a couple of years' time. Every man and his dog's going to be using it. But for now, you have an opportunity to get ahead of literally tens of thousands of your competition by utilizing this platform. So it's, you know, it's super, super valuable. I've not been excited about a platform as this, basically, since Facebook kind of, you know, since that kind of, you know, really, really took off. What else we got? I teach voice. Alison's here, right? Alison says, I teach voice and body language to people in business who have little experience or have issues presenting. LinkedIn would be like so useful for you, Alison. I don't know if you use it at the moment. Steve's in the house. All right, Steve. And we will get on the book clubs at some point. Caroline says she loves the book club. She's rereading The Gratitude Effects at the moment. Definitely going to start getting back onto the book clubs, without a doubt. My current issue, says Mark, is still getting a solid agent to respond and getting in the room. Doing Actors Business Breakthrough at the moment for new ideas. You know what, Mark? Jason, who runs Actors Business Breakthrough, super legit. He's one of... Do you know, I don't want to say like we're the only two, but out of everybody, I mean like everyone across the board, he's the only guy I will work with and I will promote his stuff. I just don't. People send me emails. Someone sent me an email last week offering me, and people do this all the time, like some significant money sometimes to promote stuff. Someone got in touch with me last week and were like, I want to promote, I don't agree with it at all. Some bullshit multi-level marketing. A well-known company that a lot of actors do for multi-level marketing. For me, it's brainwashing and it's exploiting people and it's telling people they can have a business if they just, you know, spend 1,500 quid on these bullshit products that are massively overpriced, and then like they don't even then they sell it to you as if it's like, oh, all you got to do is get your friends to buy these products. It's not what it's like at all. It's just basically like they say that, but really they want you to then go out and get your friends to not just buy your products, but to like buy a business starter kit for another 1,500 quid. Then they appear under you and you earn commission off them, and the people they bring in, you earn commission off them all. And I just don't agree with it at all. Just don't like it. And she was like, oh, I want to come on the podcast and like talk about this. And I'm like, with the greatest respect, it might work for you. It's not something that I really buy into at all. I wouldn't recommend actors do it. I just think they should build their own business, not, you know, piggyback off somebody else's. That's really like, I think in a lot of senses, it's deceitful. Just don't like it. So I didn't promote it, and I wouldn't do no matter how much you wanted to pay me. Jason, I will always promote his stuff because he's just a decent guy and he really knows what he's talking about. He's a bit more systematic than me, Mark. So like, I'm quite action orientated and like gung ho. Come on, let's go. Seize the moment. Let's do it now. Take freaking action this week, this hour. If you've got an email you've been thinking of sending in the last 2 weeks, just do it now. Jason's a bit more measured than that, so he's like, right, let's lay it all out. Okay. So I think we complement each other quite well. But yeah, in terms of a solid agent, Mark, it's a difficult one really, because I've not looked at your reel for a while. What I did see of your reel, the scene you shot with Chris Stone is solid, man. And I don't know what the other stuff you've got on your reel is like anymore compared to that. I'd have to have a look. I think it's worth just utilising that. I mean, how are you distributing that one scene? You know, are you distributing that in the right places? You know, are you utilising LinkedIn? Are you, getting it in front of writers? You know, has Jed Mercurio seen it? People like that who write things like Line of Duty. Have you sent it off to the 3 or 4 casting directors who cast things like Casualty, where there's policemen in? I played a policeman in Casualty not long ago. They're in all the time. Every single episode, there's generally a guest copper or someone like that. You're getting that kind of stuff and utilising it in the best way. So then you can get your first credit off your own back, and then you can take that as currency to one of the reputable agents and just go, listen, got this show off my own back. As a bartering weapon, as a tool, I'm going to let you do the deal. You can take your 20% commission on it. You just do the deal. I've got this job. You do the deal on it. But I want rep for at least 6 months. I'd barter, man. I love bartering with people. I don't think the acting industry is any different to like a market stall in the West End of London. East End of London, not the West End. That's theatre, isn't it? In EastEnders. Jason's good at ideas and stuff like that, though. But yeah, just hustle, man. Definitely. Rob Collier, great guy. Yeah, good guys coming back on Acts on This. There's a great interview I did with Rob on actsonthis.tv. Really good video interview. It's like over an hour long. Go check that out. Get a membership. You better watch the whole thing. All right, Ruth. Hope you're well. God, there's loads of comments and stuff here. I think it's 5 now. Spotlight's gone up to 5 credits, has it? Wow. People were saying 4. I thought it was like 3 or 4. I think it was 3 when I first started out. 5. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit more work to do there. But not impossible. If you want it, Solomon, man, if you want it, you're going to find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Say that all the time as well. Spotlight tries to encourage professionalism. There are lots of casual chancers messing around. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you've got 5 professional credits, you're really taking this seriously. You're not mucking around. And that's the real thing, There might be 100,000 actors in this country, but I swear to God, there's only 5,000 who are taking it seriously. The rest are mucking about. They're the ones, I keep seeing people, like I say, either complaining about having to pay for Spotlight, people asking for like, equity, what a rip-off. I'm like, mate, without equity, you'd have no equity pack contracts. We'd all be paid dog shit. You'd have no, like public liability insurance if you're a member of equity. You'd have to get that yourself. You'd have no pension. Equity's not bullshit at all. Equity, like, if you are an actor, it's absolutely essential for your longevity and like finances, long term. You should be paying I think it starts off at like £8 a month or something like that for equity. It's non-negotiable. Like, if this is your career, you should got to do it. But loads of people are just chancing it. They just wake up one morning and go, yeah, I'm going to be an actor. And they're not your competition because they're not going to ultimately take the action. They're not going to act on anything, nothing that we spoke about tonight. The people who are chancing it, they're not going to do anything with it. Dougal wants to sort out LinkedIn. Honestly, mate, I'm going to sort LinkedIn out for everybody, definitely. Andy's talking about IMDb. She's got a few credits. All right, Linda. Linda's here. Says, we're late tonight. No matter. Ross is always interested. Linda, you can watch the replay. Appreciate you being here, though, definitely. Fanny wants to ask, what is the prerequisite for being a guest on your podcast, videos, etc., just so I know what to work towards? Ultimately, it would be... Oh, God, do you know what? I mean, do you know what I'm doing at the moment? Do you know what's kind of like qualifying people? It's not. I'm not snobby. I've had people on my vlog who are really just starting out and not famous at all. That's a very different thing for people. Because I want to give basically as much value as I possibly can to the people who are paying £10 a month to be a member of actsonthis.tv. None of the interviews I don't do any like promo in terms of like, there'll be shows or there'll be people who might go, oh, right, okay, I'm an actor, but I've published this book or I've done this or whatever. If it's not like super valuable, it's not a chat show. Like, it's not like Alan Carr, where someone can come on, we'll have a little laugh about something, and then they go, oh, my new book's out or my new show's out, tune in, whatever. It's not about that. They've basically got to have an interesting story, and they've got to, be able to be vulnerable and give as much, valuable, actionable content as possible in terms of, these are people who I've seen hustle their ass off for years, get a massive break. So, for instance, Lydia West is a girl who I work with on Years and Years. Years and Years, the new Russell T Davies drama, comes out on the 7th of May. She played one of the lead characters in it, a character called Bethany. This was her first acting job that she'd got on TV as a lead. And before that, she's got a really interesting story, faced loads of adversity, came to the industry late, decided, well, not late, but like later. She's not old by any means. She was told by lots of people she was too fat. And she's not fat at all. She's in really good shape. But she was saying, this is how fucked up some people in the industry are, like, telling people these kind of things. Ultimately, was told loads of reasons why she couldn't succeed. Now she's starring in one of the biggest BBC dramas that there'll be this year. That's a really inspiring, compelling story. And I'm going to get her to break down everything she went through in order to get that role, to get the agent. She's now with Independent Talent. I don't know which way round that came, whether she got the agent before the job or the job after the agent, the job before the agent. I don't know, how that worked for her. She didn't train at drama school, so that's another thing that I want to get out there, because I'm like, you don't need to. So she's got, she's going to have knowledge because she's now achieved the thing that so many people want to achieve. She's now going to have step-by-step advice to go, look, if you're in my situation where the whole world's telling you this is pointless, you're never going to make it, you don't look the part, you're too this, you're too that. Fuck all that. Don't listen to any of that bullshit. Knuckle down, work hard, do this, and this. This is how I got my opportunity. This is what I did in the room. This is what I did in the audition. This is how I prepared the script. This is how I did, the screen test or whatever it is she had to do. And then people can then replicate. That's the really important thing. Replicate that, that kind of success. So ultimately, get yourself a gig on mainstream BBC One, ITV, lead part. Boom, you're straight in, 100 quid to charity. Any charity your choice, you'll be sat in here in no time. That's it, really. I'm definitely, don't want anyone to think I'm snobbish about guests. If you've got any suggestions for guests that you want, or anything like that, I'm definitely not like, oh right, I had Glyn, my accountant, on a couple of weeks ago because he's not famous, but he can give such actionable advice that's saving actors like thousands of pounds. It's really valuable. So ultimately, it's just about the value people can bring to to the members. That's ultimately it. So if anyone's got any suggestions, please shout up. Definitely. I'm running a workshop for my other business in 3 weeks' time. Tried to make a LinkedIn ad which failed miserably, says Laura. Laura, man, we can sort out that. Honest to God, drop me an email. Let me know who you targeted, how you're targeting people. Are you targeting people via job title? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And I'm just super transparent with everything I do, right? I don't care. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start running not Facebook. I run Facebook ads for ads on this. I'm going to start running LinkedIn ads. And I'm just going to target people in the UK. I can retarget people based on behavior they've done. I'm not even going to do that for a start. I'm just going to target people who have the title actor as their profession in the UK. Therefore, every actor in the UK, depending on how much money I want to spend on a LinkedIn ad, is then going to see some valuable content from me that they might engage with. Simple as that. So if your workshop for your other business is focusing on specific professions or people of particular businesses or something like that, then you want to be targeting people from the job description. Ultimately, that's like one of the best ways to get your ads in front of people who it's relevant to. Right now, the design of the picture you're using is really important, whether you have a video, whether you're and also where you're sending people to. If you're creating an ad and you want to sell something, don't just create an ad. So you're selling tickets. I wouldn't send an ad directly to the booking page, because that's like, without getting crude, that's like going out to the club and expecting, the boy or the girl you meet that night to sleep with you on the first date. I did do that initially and it was getting no engagement whatsoever. What I do now is I give away some really valuable content first. I then set up a email sequence so people end up with a couple of emails over a few days, giving them even more value. And then I'm like, listen, if you've really enjoyed all this free stuff, you're really going to like this that I'm doing. And that could be either an event or it could be joining actonthis.tv as a full member. Give before you take. If you're just looking to sell, you'll probably find that people are a bit suspicious, or they're like, oh, it's kind of a bit, forceful. Imagery is important. There's all kinds of things. Do you know what? Google LinkedIn ads best practices 2019, and there'll be people today who have published articles on what they are doing on LinkedIn ads right now that's working for them. Google's your friend, Laura, but if you struggle, let me know and I'll have a look as well. It's something I'm just starting off on myself though. I'm by no means an expert right now, but I've got a bit of a grasp for it. Kimberly's been playing with LinkedIn recently. Know some proper tips for it would be ace. Definitely going to sort all this out. God, there's so many comments. It's already 20 past 10. I can't go through all these. But I just want to thank everybody for kind of being here. Really appreciate you all. Years and years, people are saying can't wait for that. Do you know what? I'm probably going to get into trouble. But should I play the trailer for years and years? I don't know if the BBC... Right, if the feed cuts out because somehow like the BBC or Facebook recognises that this is like copyrighted material, then then I'll say bye now. But I don't think it will be. It's like a 60-second trailer for Years and Years. If you have no idea what it is, it stars Emma Thompson, Russell Tovey, Ruth Madeley, Lydia West, Rory Kinnear, Anne Reid, me. Doesn't really star me. I'm in 2 episodes though. Here it is. Here's the which thing am I looking at here? Is it? I think it's this one. This might be Years and Years.
What sort of world are we in? Because if it's this bad now, what's it going to be like for you? 30 years' time? 10 years? 5 years? What's it going to be like?
Did you know you can live forever?
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love?
Race into the next disaster, and I keep wondering, when's it ever going to stop?
I do not give a...
Just a housing officer, I know. Boring.
I'm not transsexual, I'm transhuman. I will be data.
If you think you're going online, you make a sad mistake. Want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love?
I love you, Mommy and Daddy.
Tweet that. You don't mind, do you?
No.
Years and Years on BBC One.
Boom. There you go. So Lydia is the girl who had the Instagram filter in real life on her face. It's set between 2019 and 2034. Spans over 15 years. Russell thinks we will be walking around with actual filters on our faces. Not just Instagram filters that you put on in post-production. So that's Lydia. Lydia will be recording a podcast for me, for all you premium members on actonthis.tv on Monday the 29th. I'm then going out to London on Tuesday the 30th to record a podcast with Susanna Fielding, who played Jenny Gresham, the co-presenter in the new Alan Partridge on BBC One that's just been on, this time with Alan Partridge. 2 fantastic women, fantastic actresses, who I think we can all learn an awful lot from. So you're going to be listening to those probably middle of May. All premium members of Acts on This, get yourself a bloody membership. Legend Russell, says Donna. He's so good, and I'm trying. You know what? Try to convince Russ to come on and do a podcast as well. I did ask him at the first read through for Years and Years. He'd been through a bit of a traumatic time at the time. He was like, "Mate, give me a few weeks." I didn't ask him at the second one. I thought I'd just let him be. I'd just got a part in the show. I thought I'll won't push it. But I'm going to reach out, see if I can get Russell on to do a podcast. It's just such a brilliant mind and such a lovely, like genuine bloke. Going to start doing some live broadcasts with casting directors as well, by the way. Not done one of those in ages. Who would you like me to try and get? Give me a name of a casting director you'd like me to do a live Q&A with, like this, but I'm joined with a casting director. It's for premium members of Acts on This. You get to put your questions personally to the casting director. They will answer them as honestly as they can. Let's finish on that. Give me some names. I've already done quite a lot of these on actonthis.tv. I'll show you who I've had on so far. Where is... No, that's Twitter. There you go. So, live broadcasts, if I have a look here. So these are people I've already had on, but I'll get them on again if you want. Humans casting director, Victor Jenkins, also cast Broadchurch. Awesome guy. Hollyoaks casting director, Peter Hunt. Line of Duty casting director, Daniel Edwards. Dan Hubbard wants to come back on. I know he definitely wants to do another one. Dan Hubbard's a massive casting director. You'll know Amy Hubbard, Dan Hubbard, John, Ros Hubbard. The Hubbards are like the biggest casting family like in the country. Cast massive films, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all that sort of stuff. Massive, great people. Who else have we had? We had a live broadcast with Mickey Jones, the Coronation Street and Emmerdale director. Jordan Hogg was a director as well, BAFTA-winning director for Casualty. We had Mrs. Brown's Boys, real great comedy casting director Nikki Bly on for a live broadcast. Annie Wallace, Hollyoaks actress, talking all about authenticity. She was the first trans actress to play a trans character. Lee Boardman, just a bloody awesome guy. What a great actor. So we've had quite a few live broadcasts like that, but going to start doing more. I've not done enough of those where I get joined by a guest. I've been doing a lot of podcasts recently because I think a lot of people like to just listen to audio while they're doing something else. But I really want to do some live broadcasts where we just, get people on. Shaheen Baig, yeah, definitely. Whoever cast Doctor, says Steve. Steve Connolly just wants 2 lines on Doctor. Steve, I'm going to make it happen, mate. Definitely, we'll try and sort that out. The in-house casting directors at the BBC might not be allowed to do stuff like that because they're kind of governed by the BBC, but the freelancers definitely will. I'm sure people like Gemma Hancock, I'm sure she would probably do one. I know Gemma. I'll have to ask her. I don't know if she'd be up for it, but I'll see. Shaheen Baig, I've reached out to on Twitter, Rich, and she did tell me to email the office. Now, I emailed the office, I didn't get a reply, but she's obviously very, very busy, so I will follow up on that. Shaheen will be massive. That would be great. She casts some brilliant stuff. The one from EastEnders, Jenna, that's Julia Crampsey. I've asked her, again, because she's employed by the BBC. The BBC don't let people do anything. They don't really let people do anything, to be honest. ITV are a bit more lenient. I can definitely ask again, but she was kind of had her hands tied, Jenna, unfortunately. I can definitely look at that. Shane Meadows says Donna. Yeah, potentially. Manuel Puro, Inez is a good call because he's just got such knowledge on self-tapes. He does a great self-tape course. He's a guy who I'd promote because he's legit. He doesn't overcharge for his stuff, and everyone speaks really highly of him. Great ideas there, definitely. Listen, if you've got, because like I say, I want to shape the future content on actsonthis.tv for you guys, to obviously, make it as useful as possible. Please tweet me at actsonthisTV, at Ross A. Grant. What is your, or leave under like this broadcast or tag me in something so I'll see the message on Facebook. Just let me know like your biggest pain point. If there's one thing you feel that's blocking you right now, that's trapping you, you don't know how to tackle it. You've maybe been trying to do this thing, achieve this thing for 6 months and you just don't feel you're getting anywhere. Please let me know, because what I'll do is I'll bring somebody on who's done it and, we'll ask them how they did it, and get a different take on it. I can always give you my take, obviously, on all these, broadcasts completely. I'll always do that. But sometimes, what's worked for me might not work for everybody else. So we'll bring more people on who have achieved that thing, and we'll ask them how they did it. And then hopefully we'll get even more, more ways to achieve the things that you want, more options. You can email me anytime you want, Donna, ross@actonthis.tv or help@actonthis.tv. I reply to everything. It's me. I've said this before, people like email like, hey team, there is no team, it's me. So it sometimes takes me a little bit to get back to people. I mean, I'm talking like 7 days sometimes, Donna, so I'm not ignoring you. I will get back to people. If you're putting something in there like asking me to watch a show reel, I will absolutely watch it, but that might even just take a little bit longer because I've got to find time to. I don't just want to like watch it and just go, oh yeah, that's all right, good. If you're looking for some feedback on it, I'd rather actually sit down and watch it. If I'm in a coffee shop or something and I've got 10 minutes to really watch it and actually critique it and then write a real opinion on it, and give you something that might help you. So that might take a little bit longer. But anyone ever wants to reach out to me, it applies to everyone who's listening on the audio experience as well, is listening on Spotify or iTunes, or you're watching on YouTube. I really mean it. Like, if I can help you, I will always do my best to help you. Help at actonthis.tv or ross at actonthis.tv. They both come to me. They come to the same inbox. Just might take me a little bit to get back to you, but I always will. Always. Thank you, Leah. This is great content. Appreciate that. Thanks, Donna. Thanks to everybody for spending this time with me. This has been a long one. This is like 10:30. Like an hour and a half Q&A. But yeah, I'll be back. For those who are premium members of Acts on This, I've got some great. We'll be back maybe even this week with a live broadcast with a guest. Try to sort something out maybe for Thursday night. Don't know if I can pull it off yet. But if not, then definitely at some point next week. And then I've got those podcasts coming up next week as well. There'll be a new vlog out. There'll be quite a lot of stuff for you guys. And get in the private community over on the site. If you've not been in it yet, just click on members when you're logged in at the top here. You'll see 2 features here now. You'll see not just your premium membership, but you'll see the premium community. Click on that. It's going to take you into the premium community. And it's basically like a private forum. It's like a Facebook group, but completely private. You can post, you can get in touch with people here. So here's a post Bobby was writing about writing to agents. If you hover over people's names, I can send Bobby a message. You can reach out to people. You can network. You can comment on stuff, like stuff, post pictures, videos, all the stuff you can kind of do on Facebook, but it's just completely private, locked down. I set challenges for people. This was the bank holiday one for today, going, listen, let's spend at least 1 hour today on your career. You've all done that if you've been watching this. I guess you've done that by default. That's what we did on Wednesday. It's Winning Wednesday. That was all about celebrating your wins. There's a podcast. There's Susanna, who I'm doing the podcast with, from Alan Partridge. There's Steve Coogan. I'll probably be doing an Alan Partridge impression. There's loads of stuff going on here, videos that I put up, just exclusive stuff that's not, this is for you guys, obviously, who are paying and contributing to the community. I want to give you more value than anybody gets elsewhere. So get yourself in there, ask your questions, let me know how I can help you. And we'll smash it. We'll have a fantastic rest of the year, but enjoy this week. If you're anything like me, you'll be very confused when you wake up tomorrow about what day it is. It always screws me over when there's a bank holiday. I felt like it was Sunday all day today. Just not understood what day it is at all. But yeah, have a great week. Get out your comfort zone. Push yourself. Just do that one thing like tomorrow that you've been putting off for so long because of fear. For me, it really was, the whole presenting thing. I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I present like all the time. Why am I so like screwed up in terms of, asking to do this like on telly? Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I, so afraid of this thing that I do every Monday night, to dozens of people online? This is, I guess, just as scary as it gets, really, I guess. Why am I not asking to do this more, professionally, on telly, etc.? And it was me just getting in my own way. And do you know what got me through it? I had a coffee, I got inspired because the caffeine kicked in. I was in Costa and I was on LinkedIn. And I went, right, I'm going to find somebody on LinkedIn who can help me. And I just searched for people who worked at ITV and I found the highest up person I could possibly find and dropped them an email. Boom. You'll find some incredible people on there. Utilize it, and I'll be putting that program out at some point. That, for those who are really new to it, it's really just going to fast track you and help you get further much faster. Apologies, I can't see anybody's comments on Facebook now. I'm just about to end this video, but thank you so much for watching. Honestly, really appreciate it. We'll be back next Monday night, 9 p.m. Please join us again. If you listen this far on the audio experience, huge shout out to you. Come and join us live sometime. Get your questions answered, and like I said before, if I do anything for you, let me know. Until next time, love to you all. Bye for now. Oh no, look at that. I've just put the wrong music on. I meant bye for now.